Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with the Empire once again. They're going to be taking on the High Elves again. This was a replay submitted by Kark. I actually asked him for the replay because I watched this on stream today, and one of the, I believe it was Lord Master of Sotek's stream of some tournament games, and this one I thought you guys would absolutely love to see on the channel, so I went ahead and asked Kark for the replay. So let's get to the builds here and see what's going to make this so amazing to watch. So first off, the Empire. I know you guys love watching them on my channel here. We've got Karl Franz leading the way on horseback. He's going to be carrying Reikland Runefang, no Gal Miraz though. He does have some Empire Knights supporting with Demigryph Knights as well. Front line with lots of swordsmen and spearmen, just lots and lots of bodies, as well as a steam tank. So he's going to kind of use this as almost like a distraction steam tank. The High Elves did bring, just quickly the Empire build here, rounded out with Jade Wizard and the Faith Demis, Royal Altar Fights with the Warrior Priest. Anyway, so we do have 3 Claw Bolt Throwers here for the High Elves, and they're going to be shooting at the tank, but that does mean that they're not shooting at the Demigryph Knights, so that's a bit of a trade-off, and I mean, they can't not shoot the tank because it will do a bunch of damage, but anyway, they've also got some Spearmen, a couple of White Lions, 4 White Lions in fact, with 4 Spearmen, a couple of Grey Eagles, and a Princess up on a Star Dragon here, which is a very interesting pick. And it looks like a Lore of Heavens caster in the back. Very interesting. So without further ado, let's get the battle underway. And you can see the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers all going to be immediately focus firing on the tank, which is obviously a pretty good target. But Kark going to be going ahead and just maneuvering a little bit, trying to maybe dodge some of the shots there. But again, all of the shots that are coming at the steam tank aren't going to be shooting at the Demigryph Knights, which are a lot better in melee. I mean, the steam tank does have some good offensive power, but the Royal Altar Fights in particular are almost as expensive as a steam tank. They're pretty close in terms of price, relatively speaking, and so you know, they're going to be a very good target to shoot at as well. But you can see the steam tank taking quite a bit of damage there, and it's going to be tough stuff. The Empire is going to have to assault uphill this kind of high elf defensive position here, and it's going to be pretty rough. Comes down right on top of the Sigmar's Sons here, the Unbreakable State Troop Infantry. Of course, they are unbreakable. They are going to take quite a bit of shock damage here, and this downhill charge from these White Lions is going to be pretty effective at cutting through them. Meanwhile, on other parts of the battlefield, you can see the Empire pushing up and around, and here comes the critical engagement. You can see these Spearmen moving into a protect position. They try kind of slide back, but that then opens up a gap, which Kark is able to exploit here. These Demigryph Knights just running right past the Spearmen. They do bowl over a few on their way through, but very critically, they're going to get through onto these Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers without having taken hardly any damage at range, which is a huge loss for the High Elves here. That being said, the frontline engagement's going to be pretty rough. I mean, the Empires have a lot of bodies here, but their troop quality is severely inferior, especially to the White Lions here. They really don't have any armor piercing. The White Lions have decent enough combat stats that they can hang around with their heavy armor as well and do quite well here. But in the back line, a very critical engagement going down with Karl Franz and the Warrior Priests here, both dropping some buffs. You can see the Royal Altar Fights. They have Grand Hammer Sigmar, Shield of Faith, upgraded Regrowth as well. There was the Reikland Runefang a bit earlier, but looks like a Harmonic Convergence going down on the Princess for the High Elves there, but the Princess is taking a ton of damage from these Demigryph Knights here. They're all juiced up from all the buffs from the Faith and the Reikland Runefang now going down, and the Hammer Sigmar being dropped again. Because that Warrior Priest did have the Scroll of Power, he's able to use that basically 2 times in a row there, and you can see a ton of damage being done to that very expensive Star Dragon, and you know, 1 out of the 3 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers has been shut down. Steam Tank's relatively low on health though. It has taken quite a bit of damage, just been soaking the fire of these Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower shots, so pretty decent so far, but looks like the attention now being turned to the Jade Wizard. He's going to have to be careful. Kark's really going to need that healing, especially into the late game, but you can see these Empire Cav just kind of cycle charging effectively, and you know, High Elf Spearmen don't have the best AP values. They have good enough stats that they're not going to take a ton of damage here, but they're going to struggle to really do effective damage to the Demigryph Knights because of their heavy armor. But Demigryph Knights wisely pulling away. Carl's going to mix it up with the White Lions for just a moment there, and then go ahead and pull away once again. You can see isolated pockets of White Lions still fighting Empire State troops, but the majority of the Empire State troops getting routed off here. This bottom of the hill engagement is getting pretty desperate, but the Steam Tank is in a position to support on the flank. Looks like it's also going to be getting a regrowth there to heal it back up, so definitely trying to keep that distraction Steam Tank alive. And in the back line, you can see these Eagles trying to come down, pick off these Empire Knights that had rallied there, but what is this? The Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower? Yep, continuing to get sniped out here, and you can see despite the fact that there are tons of spearmen standing around, it doesn't really stop the Demigryph Knights from getting onto the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. And man, did you see Karl Franz just smash that Bolt Thrower with his hammer? Just like, no, bad War Machine. Just smashes it with Galmaraz. That was awesome. Holy crap. But anyway, in the back line, this Heavens Wizard is going to be going for a ride here. She gets punted around. Thankfully, she's not on a horse, so she won't be subject to the bonus versus large of the Demigryph Knights, but, I mean, she's just a squishy caster. So both the Warrior Priest and Karl Franz circling like sharks, just beating the brakes off of her with their Warhammers. And, yeah, I guess that's why they call the game Warhammer, huh? Anyway. Man, even the Jade Wizard coming and getting involved here, but at this point the balance power has tipped pretty far in the Empire's favor. It's not completely unwinnable for the High Elves, but the lack of healing definitely showing through here. And I'd mentioned in some comments recently to some of you guys that I really feel that with the High Elves you need to bring healing because they generally have low model count armies, but Steam Tank being used very effectively as a chariot there to just run over some White Lions doesn't do the most damage in the world, but I mean, because the High Elves have no mobile units outside of this dragon, it's going to be tough. Nice Breath Attack comes down though, does roast out some of those Empire Knights trying to, and the Demigryph Knights obviously trying to claw their way back, but just the High Elf Spearmen here really haven't been able to be effective. I mean, they won the infantry engagement, but just the large units for the Empire have been an absolute terror. And, you know, the healing has been on point, the buffs have been on point for the demis, and Kark's been doing a great job putting them into the appropriate situation to take down the right targets. He's also been doing a great job of using this Steam Tank as a big old distraction. You can see Karl Franz dodges an attack here and is going to come in and fight mano-a-mano with the Star Dragon, which is definitely brave of the Emperor. Potentially he could take some severe damage here, but he can also dish out some pain as well. He's all juiced up with Standing Ground and Reichland Runefang to give him awesome combat stats, so actually not that risky of a dive there. And obviously Galmaraz would have been useful there for the bonus versus large and extra AP, but elected not to bring it just for cost reasons, I'm sure. But anyway, these Empire Knights are going to get finished off here, but the Demigryph Knights and the Steam Tank are still online, so the heroic Steam Tank going to be blasting point blank into these White Lions here and then charging through while the Demigryph Knights go ahead and pull away. And yeah, another Breath Attack goes down. Does catch some of those Demigryph Knights, although they weren't super bunched up there. It did do a lot of damage to Karl, though, which is pretty rough. It is going to bring the balance power back a little bit, but still pretty clearly in the Empire's favor, despite the numbers advantage that the High Elves have. And not too often you get to actually say that, but the Eagle's going to come down. I believe they just put, yep, regrowth on the Steam Tank there, and the Warrior Priest and Karl Franz going to come through. Of course, the Steam Tank will do quite a bit of the Steam Gun, rather, on the Steam Tank will do quite a bit of damage to these lower armor targets as the Steam Tank is kind of cycle charging here. You can see it coming back for another timing push and just plowing straight through the High Elves here. Again, the Steam Gun just getting down those light spearmen. The Star Dragon's going to come down, and this is a master. I almost said master bait, but it is a masterful bait in that he's able to bait down the Star Dragon here and get him with the Demigryph Knights here. And you know, I said it was masterful. It didn't quite actually end up working out, but this Star Dragon's going to have to be careful. And interestingly enough, the Steam Tank does have quite a bit of ammo left, so one thing Kark can do here, and which he's going to start doing in just a second, is to just turn this Steam Tank and start shooting the Star Dragon. It still has plenty of ammo. He has the mobility advantage, so he doesn't necessarily need to put this thing in melee at the moment. He can just sit back and use the gun to pop the dragon, and a point blank pop. Wow, that cannonball almost bounced all the way back to the Steam Tank there. That's actually kind of impressive. But nasty dragon breath there. The dragon retaliating, very upset that it just got popped in the chest by that cannonball there. But, I mean, the Steam Tank did take some damage, but it's still online. Another solid hit there in the flank of the dragon. And not too much longer, and that dragon's going to be off the field. Only about 700, about 800 hit points there. And Carl Franz and the Demis still online here, so they're going to be coming, applying a nice rear charge. And critically, a lot of these high elf troops are not immune to psychology as well, so the Terror from the Royal Autocryphites and the Steam Tank both going to be very effective here in this late game. You can see a nice rear charge coming down on these White Lions who were battling some of the regrouped state troops. That should be enough to finish them off. You can see Carl coming through, just going full-on cricket bat on the heads of the High Elves here. Super fun stuff. And yeah, Star Dragon once again comes down to try and finish off the Steam Tank, but I believe Kark's maybe got one more regrowth. Nope, actually the Steam Tank's just going to try and get back up in the air before the Demigryph Knights get on station, and man, taking another shot to the back as it disengages there. The Steam Tank, even in melee, able to fire there, which is quite impressive. And yeah, the Steam Gun doing some good damage. So far, very effective Steam Tank play. This is probably some of the most effective Steam Tank play I've seen. Up to 2 XP chevrons, almost got a third, 122 kills versus the High Elves. That's quite impressive. And I know I was kind of evangelizing the Steam Tank the other day versus the High Elves. Certainly, I think that this High Elf build left a little bit to be desired, but at the same time, Kark just showing how, especially in these kind of longer, grindy games, the Steam Tank especially is a big distraction piece because, I mean, your opponent's got to do something to deal with it unless it just wants to sit and get shot, which, of course, can be a viable strategy if you have enough numbers, but typically the High Elves won't. So, yeah, Steam Tank, actually a decent pick here, and I'm starting to maybe rethink this guy's place on my top 5 worst monsters list. The main reason it's up there is because I still feel it's significantly less effective than other monstrous artillery types, or less cost effective, I should say. It certainly can be made to work, and it does have a nice niche, but just compared to a lot of the other artillery monsters, I guess is what you'd call them, like the Bone Giant, Cygor, Stegodon, it does lack quite a bit. However, being unbreakable, and it is also the fastest of any unit in that class. It's not super fast, but it's a little bit slower than most heavy cavalry, a little bit faster than most infantry. Well, significantly faster than most infantry, only a little bit faster than, say, like Skaven, but still fast enough that it can get away, unlike a lot of those other monsters, which are right in the 30 range, about the same speed as infantry, you know, Bone Giant, Stegodon, Cygor, they're all about in that range. So the Steam Tank, you know, the fact that it's unbreakable and its extra speed does give it a little bit of an advantage there. I still don't think it's necessarily wildly cost-effective, but in this battle it definitely was cost-effective. 153 kills, 3 XP chevrons, some very excellent play there from that Steam Tank. The Royal Autocryphites, of course, and the regular Demigryph Knights cleaning up quite a few kills. Carl Franz himself racking up 17 and doing a ton of damage to that Star Dragon in that kind of pitched duel there. Empire Knights did kind of get throttled a little bit, but, you know, they were able to get in and disrupt this backline here. You can see the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, pretty much 0 kills across the board. They were shooting at the Steam Tank most of the time, but that's exactly the point of the Steam Tank, I feel like, in this build. It's just to be a big, annoying distraction piece, and to soak fire, you know, soak the anti-cav, anti-large tools, so that then your actual cavalry, you know, the Demigryph Knights, especially juiced up with the Faith buffs and the Reichland Runefang and everything, will be significantly more effective. For the High Elves, infantry engagement went incredibly well. You can see the White Lions just racking up kills against the state troops here. The state troops definitely just fell over in the face of that elite High Elf squad, but just was not enough mobility. I definitely think these 2 Grey Eagles are a terrible pick. I've already sort of voiced my criticisms of Grey Eagles before, so if you were to replace those guys, even with something like Illyrian Reavers or Silver Helms, just some type of traditional cavalry to contest the mobility game at the very least and be able to tie down units like the Empire Knights and even the Demigryph Knights or the Steam Tank, you know, you can tie them down with higher mass cav units that can get a full surround, or, you know, more of a surround than a single entity can, certainly, and it's going to be significantly more effective. So I'm not a fan of the Eagle picks. I also, again, like I mentioned before, think that healing is going to be the way to go almost always as the High Elves, so I'd swap this Heavens Mage out for a Life Mage or a High Mage, both of which are pretty viable in this matchup. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. I'll have a link to Kark's Twitch channel down in the description below. I believe he streams in Korean, if I'm not mistaken, so if that's your native language, or if you just want to watch someone play in Korean, go ahead and check out his Twitch page. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.